Hello, everyone. Welcome this morning or this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy Friday or Saturday, wherever you are. My name is Tammy, and welcome to the ESL Library Virtual Conference. It's our first conference ever, so we're very excited today. I'm doing a little bit of a soft welcome. We have our main welcome coming, and Tara, I think, will be welcoming you as well. So you're going to get a lot of welcomes. We're very excited. All right, and I see many of you found the chat there on the right-hand side. We have people from all around the world. We're super excited about that. There are so many countries already represented, so many languages. So we're really, really excited to have this amazing global community. We're going to be celebrating you guys, and we're so excited for the speakers that we have coming up. All right, I am going to remove myself from the stage, but I'd like to welcome our three wonderful publishing team members. They are the heart and soul of the content at ESL Library. We're really, really grateful that they're here to welcome everyone and start a little bit of a conversation about the very popular topic, grammar. All right, so I'm gonna hide myself and let you ladies take it away. Thanks so much, Tara, Tanya, and Anne.
Thanks, Tammy. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I'd like to say another welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Our first ESL Library Conference. It feels really historic. We've attended dozens of conferences over the years, and we've had webinars and professional development sessions, but we've never hosted our own conference. So this is a first for us. And our CEO, Ben, is going to be doing a formal welcome in a little bit. But today we just wanted to kick things off with a little informal coffee talk. So this is just a meetup with the representatives from the publishing team. While we introduce ourselves, please take a moment to introduce yourselves in the chat. And just to stay on topic, why don't you leave us a message about which grammar target you find most difficult to teach? So we'd love to know that. So I'm Tara, the VP of Publishing. I've been with the company for almost 15 years now, and I'm here with Tanya, our Director of Language Development. She's in BC. Tanya has been our head editor for the past 10 years. Tanya and I go way back, so we used to teach English together, I don't know, 20 plus years ago in Vancouver. Tanya manages all things grammar and usage at the company, and she's also the author of most of our grammar sections and lessons, so we're really happy to have her here today. We also have Anne. Anne is our US editor, and she's been with us for several years now. She's based in Virginia. The publishing team has been remote since the beginning, so COVID didn't really change anything for us, but we work well together across the miles. So yeah, we're used to this kind of thing. Anne edits and writes materials, and she also helps with copy editing, and she teaches adult ed in her spare time. Tanya, Anne, and I are kind of internally known as ATT or AT&T here at the company. We're always available to answer questions, take requests, and we'll be here at the conference for the weekend representing the publishing team. So we're going to start just by explaining briefly why we chose grammar as our topic for our first coffee talk. So we were in a grammar frame of mind this summer when the organizers asked us what we wanted to talk about to start this session. So we've been working on grammar collections. If you're an ESL Library subscriber, we hope you've discovered our new grammar collections or even all of our new collections. These are curated lists and sublists of all of the content on ESL Library. So instead of dividing the content by section, we also have the content divided by targets or by functions, themes. So this is our grammar collection. So yeah, we just thought, when we go to conferences, we're always looking for those grammar topics. Our writers and editors are always looking for sessions about grammar, how we can improve our grammar materials, make them more fun and relevant. Even though ESL Library is kind of known for covering lots of topical content and relevant content and content that other publishers don't want to touch, our grammar materials are actually still our most popular, most used materials. All teachers need the grammar materials, so we always keep that in mind. Having said that, how we teach grammar and how we cover grammar here at ESL Library has evolved in so many ways. Over the past 20 years, ESL Library has been servicing teachers. So what started as just a single section of grammar practice worksheets that were really drill style evolved into a full comprehensive section, whole language, speaking tasks, writing tasks, assessment, companion blog posts that give teachers tips for using the lessons, which is like a really great space to ask and get your questions answered. Then we also have grammar stories. We moved on to doing that. Quick reference resources that teachers ask for. Then we moved on to grammar for kids, grammar for absolute beginners, all sorts of different types of grammar. So these collections really help you find exactly what you need based on the target, and then you can drill down to the audience, the age level, the level that you want to teach, and all sorts of different ways of teaching grammar. So one thing we noticed is that a lot of teachers who used to teach grammar explicitly kind of decided they wanted to start teaching grammar in context or implicitly, and we started getting a lot of requests that for our topical materials to have little mini grammar lessons in context. So that's something that we started doing. Digital learning then came next, and so we had to digitize all of our grammar lessons and add assessment to all of our grammar lessons. So there's been a full evolution of grammar here at ESL Library. Grammar videos is kind of the last step so far for us. We've just gotten into that, and I think Tanya's going to maybe show you one in a little bit. So we just really thought grammar deserved a place here in this conference. And not only that, we have our grammar experts here. So it's a really good opportunity for you to meet the minds behind these grammar materials and even pick their brains. So having said that, I'm going to turn this a little bit over to Anne and Tanya. They have some questions for you all, and we're hoping that you'll ask us questions, answer questions in the chat, respond, share your ideas. This is really meant to be a coffee chat, so we're hoping that you'll share your ideas, and we'll share some as well as we go. So let's start with Tanya. You can use the chat. You can share your ideas by raising your hand and ask to come on stage if you want, or you can just leave the response in the chat and we'll kind of share them as we go. All right, Tanya.
Hi, everyone. So the first question I have for you today is, how do you make grammar fun and engaging in your class? So I'm hoping to get a few responses in the chat over here, or like Tara said, if you want to join us on stage, if you're feeling brave, you can raise your hand and come and talk to us in person for a minute. So some people are saying interactive, role play, bamboozle, games, great ideas, conversation topics. Yeah, talking and speaking activities is a really good way to get students engaged. Some people said videos, that's great. Songs, nice. And yeah, lots of videos and games. I agree, that's lots of fun. So we are just going to show you a video, actually, just a little bit of a first conditional video. So we've made about 25 videos so far, and grammar videos, and we'll keep making more till all the main targets have been added. So videos can really bring targets to life with illustrations and animations, so makes it a little more engaging. So we're just going to play the beginning of this video since it's about 5 minutes long. So I'll just play the intro here for you. So I'm going to ask Tammy to load that up for us.
ESL Library. First conditional. What is the conditional mood in English? We use the conditional mood for hypothetical situations. When we don't know if something will happen, we make a guess about the outcome. What is the first conditional? We use the first conditional for a possible or likely outcome. This means that if a certain condition is met, the outcome will probably happen. For example, if she studies hard, she will pass the test. If the condition of studying hard is met, it is likely that the outcome will be passing the test.
So the video goes on to show you the 2 common sentence patterns with the first conditional and then several animated examples. And our videos are available in the digital task of the corresponding lesson. And also we have a YouTube channel, and we'll share the link in the chat at the end of this chat this morning. So yeah, I'd love it if someone could come on stage. Tammy, do you want to send the first person, Sina, on stage? Hi, Sina. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, very
Yes.
clearly.
All right. I guess that you don't see me. Let me turn it
Oh,
on.
there you are.
How you
do
doing?
Grammar fun in your class.
Yeah, actually, it's my first time to be here, and I'm very glad to be a part of your big community. And, I just wanted to ask you, dear teachers, about dealing with difficult learners. I've been teaching English for almost 9 years, but one of the biggest challenges I have ever encountered is dealing with hard learners. I have always had problem with these guys. In case of grammar, it's very hard to deal with them.
Right. Yes. Well, I'll go first. Just some ideas in my past teaching experience. Students that are shy, they have trouble speaking out in front of a big classroom. So I just try to do a lot of pair and group work, so they're in a smaller group and they feel a little more comfortable. So that's one idea. Just for example, in our grammar lessons, we always include a speaking activity just to get students talking. It could be a find someone who, or a role play, or pair work. If it's guided kind of speaking like that, then they'll hopefully feel confident, like it's not just their opinion they have to express. They can
Sorry, I'm telling you about the one-on-one classes, mostly group work. Yeah, pair work works very well, in case of hard learners, but one-on-one is something gets on your nerves sometimes.
Yeah, that can be challenging for sure. Yeah. You can just try to draw them out as best you can. Again, kind of guided speaking activities would be my recommendation, because if you're just asking them to speak off the cuff, they don't have the confidence often. So, and another idea that I have just off the top of my head is, after you've presented a grammar target to them and they feel a little more comfortable with that target, then they might be more inclined to speak because they feel like they've learned the basics of it and they can share. So
you mean that visual stuff could be better?
Yeah, I was talking about like speaking activities, but yeah, visuals is another great idea actually, because anything illustrated, like we have a fun grammar section that we actually wrote for kids, and we find that our low-level adults prefer that section rather than the kind of more comprehensive grammar practice worksheets, because it is illustrated, it aids their comprehension. Things like videos do that too. So visuals are great for, just helping make things clear for students.
All right, thank you. But let's see other dear members say.
Yeah, Karen.
Thank you very much.
That have some ideas for you here too. Just developing a trusting relationship with them, choosing topics that are really interesting for them, especially scripts. I totally agree. For one-on-one, that really helps, just having kind of a script that they can speak one-on-one with you, and they'll feel more confident because it's already there for them. And then maybe you can practice like creating your own script and give them a little bit of leeway so that they have to actually write a sentence here and there. And then you can work on their grammatical errors as well.
And also information gaps are a great way to engage students, because they have information that you need and they need to find out information. So they really get people talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good point here about error correction, just being careful about correcting too much of young learners or a learner who doesn't have as much confidence, being careful not to correct too much of their grammar as they go, because that can make them frustrated. So those are some really good ideas.
Yeah, great points in the chat. That's awesome. We have a question on stage here as well. I also teach 101 classes. How do you deal with students that don't do the activities? Anybody have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends if it's adults or young learners that you're talking about here, for sure. That makes a big difference, right? If we're talking about adults and they're, not staying on task, gets a little bit trickier.
Yeah, it's easier to maybe have.
But it's always great to assign roles to make sure that people participate.
For sure. Participation marks are pretty good. We have a blog post that we recently added all about participation. So you maybe want to share that with your students. We have a lot of teachers saying it's been really helpful. Does anyone in the chat have any ideas about students who aren't doing their work?
You aren't staying on task? Yeah, I agree with the point about motivation. That's great, whether it's participation marks or they can like earn stars throughout the week or something to motivate them. It's good advice. So,
I'm interested in the growth mindset lessons that we got in the chat. What are growth mindset lessons?
hi, Cassandra.
Hello. So yes, so we actually have, I've worked with students who have a really difficult time participating in class. And I actually got this idea from a friend that is an ESL teacher, but she had just found a basic level book actually about growth mindset. And she would use this lesson for 5 to 10 minutes before class and would just go through the vocabulary, and helped create some connections between the students and the teacher, and then like the students with each other. And then they could think about, their personal experiences, and it just seemed to create a positive environment in the class. So I had substituted for her for a few times for her ESL class, and I was able to do the lessons, and it was pretty good.
That's great. We're going to be talking about that exact topic tomorrow in our Copy Talk, social emotional learning, and how to kind of get those lessons started on the right foot. So I hope you guys will join us then as well. Awesome. Okay, Anne, do you want to get to our second question?
Sure. I was going to ask, do you teach grammar explicitly, implicitly, or both? Because when we develop materials, we like to know which way is preferred.
A lot of people saying both. That's my preference as well. Oh,
I found that as I teach adult ed, that adult students really like explicit instruction. They like to know the rules. Just wondering if you teach younger learners, if you do more implicit instruction. We have somebody who really loves grammar stories, which I think is a great way to present grammar in context.
I'm interested if they're using the grammar stories, if they're choosing a grammar story first and then they're choosing a grammar lesson and teaching it more explicitly after, or if they're just sticking with grammar in context specifically.
I see one person that commented that they do the grammar lessons first and then do the grammar stories. So yeah, it definitely works either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always personally felt like you should just try both with your class, like try only explicit, try only implicit, try a combo and see what works best for the students you have. I had the same experience as you, Anne. Teaching adults, they always wanted to know the rules at some point, and usually early on. So yeah, I just usually started with a warm-up that would kind of elicit the grammar target a little bit naturally, and then we would go into the lesson with a full-on grammar presentation usually. So yeah,
right.
That's how
and sometimes you test their ability first. So is that like a placement test, or just giving them kind of a quiz on the target to see if they already know it or how well they know the target? Do some of you do that as well, or do you wait till the end?
Yeah, placement is something we've worked on the past year or two. We've developed some placement tests because there was a big demand for them. But yeah, I'm interested to know as well if teachers
Yeah, our grammar test 1 is actually one of our most popular lessons, or it's not really a lesson, but it's one of our most popular downloaded materials. So I think a lot of teachers are using that for placement, even more so than assessment, just to see where their students are at so that they know which grammar targets to focus on.
Yeah, it can be really valuable for sure. Yeah, somebody else said they use grammar stories after the grammar practice worksheets here. And someone commented they like our document on teaching order. It's a helpful guideline. Yeah, that's a good one. We can put that in the chat as well at the end.
For sure. I actually made that resource free this week, so anyone at the conference can access it. So it's just 50 grammar targets. They're in the order that we suggest, and they have the level that, you know, it's a suggested level as well. So it's a great resource to have, especially for new teachers that aren't exactly sure, you know, which one to go by. Tanya, how strict are you with this order when you kind of train teachers on this?
Yeah, I just also want to quickly mention before I forget that every grammar section we have, there is a filter on our site where you can, it's defaulted to the categories like, you know, verb tenses and prepositions and things, but you can switch the filter to teaching order and it will give you lessons so the order is like kind of a general order. It definitely depends on your students, their background, what they've already learned. So it's not set in stone by any means, but it's just kind of a good guideline with a natural progression through the grammar targets by level. So it's a guideline, not steadfast. Let's put it that way. So, oh, here we have a good question. And actually, this might be our last question because it's already 5 minutes until our big welcome speech by our CEO. So let's just read this one out and then we can maybe wrap up. That went by really fast, unfortunately. So what are some ways to motivate adult learners to apply some grammar structures like passive, causative, or reported speech to some creative writing activities? In general, I'll just quickly say that we have a blog and it's free, and there's a section called Grammar and Usage. Anne and I think Tara has written some of those articles as well. Anne and I have written a bunch of those articles, and we like to give presentation topics, especially for the difficult grammar targets like passive, causative, and reported speech. So there's a lot of handy tips there on how to teach it. And often we try to include activities that you can do with those targets because we know they can be tricky to teach. So lots of help and advice for you on our free blog. So, but does anyone else want to try to answer that? Or maybe there's some chats, people in the chat. Oh, someone's asking you, Tara, what's behind you? Your Scrabble board.
Yeah, I was just saying that this is all the staff at ESL Library. So just a Scrabble board of them. Have to keep adding them. We've grown so much. So when we started ESL Library, there were just, you know, a couple of us back then. We went from like 6 people to almost 46 in just the last, you know, few years. So we've really grown, and that's thanks to all of you that came today. All of these requests that, you know, I can see in the chat, and everyone that's been staying with us over the years. We're just so appreciative of you. The evolution of grammar is really, you know, based on the teacher requests and, you know, all of us going to the conferences and finding out what's going on in the teaching world. And, you know, a lot of us are still kind of in the classrooms ourselves. So we try to stay present, but we really appreciate all of you for, you know, letting us know what you want, what you're looking for. If you need more grammar stories, if you need more, you know, explicit grammar or grammar in context, it's really thanks to all of you. So thanks again for joining us. That just really, you know, that was quick. There's going to be grammar tables that we can join you at throughout the conference. If you have lots of questions, I'm sure there's a million that we didn't get to today. This was just meant to be just a really informal, quick chat before we kick off this conference. So we really hope you enjoy it. And you can, you know, find us on Instagram, on our blog, on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of where everyone seems to be these days. It used to be Twitter for ELT, but now it seems to be LinkedIn. So we'd love to see you guys there. You can find us, you know, personally or on the ESL Library pages. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, in about 2 minutes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. In about 2 minutes, Ben's welcome speech will start. So you'll be prompted to come back in at that time. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. It was nice to chat with you.
Happy teaching.
Bye.